DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
It's over! There's no way back from this, surely!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
That is what sport means. That is what the EuroLeague trophy means.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
Everything is difficult in this life, so still you need to be on it.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win! Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
The competition is back, and the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time, a night to remember.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official weigh-in here at the Gold Coast Convention Centre. This is the return of the king, Opetaia versus Nyika. We've had an absolutely enormous fight week. We've enjoyed every minute. Myself, Rob Shife, Charlie Parsons, Ted Kofi. But today, we're at the business end. It's the weigh-in. Charlie, what are you anticipating for the weigh-in? The boys are looking fit and ready.
Time for talking is done, Ted. It's exciting. You know what? I'm going to miss not being with you guys. I might have to ask DAZN for a little gig down under, because what a little commentary trio it's been. Look, an incredible fight card tomorrow night. I believe there's a few tickets left. Make sure you get that. If you aren't subscribed to DAZN in the rest of the world, make sure you do that. If you sign up for a year down under, then you get the pay-per-view free. If not, make sure you buy that ahead of tomorrow night, Ted. They should not miss. This is the best quality boxing you're going to get in this part of the world.
It is the best quality boxing. What you're going to see today is you're going to see some mouth-watering action, or get you ready for some mouth-watering action on fight night. The guys are going to come and whet your appetite. You're going to see what condition they're in and see that they're ready now to take on this fight. And we don't want to stand in their way, do we? Let's get these guys on the stage and weighed in, eh?
I think when we talk a little bit about the sort of prestigious titles that are on the line, we've spoke a lot about His Excellency Turkello Sheikh. We see the ring brand in there. He'll definitely be tuning in tomorrow night. But that prestigious Ring Magazine title on the line, we know how much that will mean to both fighters. The IBF on the line too. I mean, all the marbles. David's definitely up for it. But it's a big ask. Jai Opetaia, a tremendous champion, one of the most informed fighters right now.
Oh, absolutely. This is an amazing fight. Look, it was a late replacement. Sin Cara was supposed to be in. But on this side of the world, we believe this is a better fight. David Nyika has understood the assignment all week. He's showing up for media. He's been saying all the right things. He's been having little digs at Jai with yourself, Charlie. And you're right, the IBF and the Ring Magazine belt. The Ring Magazine belt is the prestigious belt. And now it's backed. It's been bought out by His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. It's carrying even more weight. 2 titles on the line, the bragging rights. Jai is the #1 cruiserweight in the world, and David Nyika is here to take that spot.
I think the people are going to be so excited as well. I mean, you guys can't see for the time being, but the venue looks absolutely incredible. I wasn't sure what to expect. I believe that this is the same place that Jai Opetaia won that world title in the upset against Myris Bridis. What an opportunity for him to come home in front of this incredible arena. I'm actually taken back by just how good it is, and the card tomorrow, Ted. I mean, it's sensational, right?
Amazing, especially the main event. I mean, this is accidental perfection because, like you said, it was an accident that David Nyika came in and did this fight, but to have 2 Australians here on the Gold Coast representing Australia and representing the world direct through DAZN, being broadcast all over the world, you get to see these guys in their backyard delivering to the whole world, and I'm super excited. You know what I mean? I want to see what these guys get to deliver and get more fights come down to Australia from all over the world.
Well, Rob, I know that you are from this part of the world, and you would have seen the sort of uprise in boxing over the last couple of years. I feel like, to me, and this may be sort of shorthand and quiet memory, but it was that Manny Pacquiao-Tim Horn moment. Ever since then, it seems to have projected. I was speaking to Eddie Hearn, obviously, and he said that, you know what, the minute that they heard that they could have made this fight ahead of the one that they were going to do, they got seriously excited. We hear about potentially more shows that are going to come down under this year. I mean, you can't not get yourself up for this one, right? This must be a real cool moment for you as a boxing nut living in this part of the world.
It's been an absolute honour and a pleasure, obviously hosting with the 2 of you as well. But like you said, this is the second golden age of Australian boxing, Charlie. We've never had as many world champions as we've had in the previous years, projected off that Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao fight. Jai, like you said, this is the stadium where he beat Bradis 5 years to the day. So very special times here at the moment. Australian boxing's on the rise. The room is filling. The who's who have come out from around the country, plus overseas. Boys, this is big fight feels.
This is huge. It's a huge fight feel. It's an international fight feel. And much like you, Charlie, I've been to fights all over the world. Las Vegas, Saudi Arabia, all of these places that give you this big fight feel on television. And when you see this venue on television, how big it is, you're going to just see that we could be anywhere. And with the fighters that are performing, we could be anywhere in the world.
Look, Rob, I'm going to throw this to you because you're going to have a better idea of the scene and the guys that sort of are fighting. Who can we look out for? Me being sort of biased, sort of the shows that I've seen, I know what we're going to expect with Justice Hooney. Eddie said yesterday that they've started some early talks with the Warrens about a potential Moses Atauma fight. I mean, that's mouthwatering. We know just how good Moses Atauma is. Me personally, I'm so excited to see Tera Moana. He is fantastic. We saw obviously in the Olympics with Jalalov, close fight. He obviously believes he wins it. But you know what? Even if he didn't get the nod, we know what a fighter Jalalov is. The professionals are a different game. I feel like when you're in this part of the world, you need characters that people can get immersed in, and Tera Moana is just that, right?
We've just saw him. We saw him at the open workout. We saw him at the press conference. He's here to entertain. He's soaking it all up. It's a completely different Tera Moana that we saw in his previous pro outing. He went back to the amateurs. He had some great success. It's propelled his profile. Now he's on the stage again, signed by Matchroom. We saw him at Monte Carlo. He's definitely a name you need to keep an eye out for when we're watching the heavyweights. Justice Hooney, like you said, there's talks of Moses Atauma. There's talks of so many different things. Johnny Fisher will be here in the building. He'll be looking forwards at Justice, and he'll be looking back at Tera Moana. Also, Ben Marnie, the golden boy from the Gold Coast. He's back. He's had a bit of a layoff, but he stayed true. He believed. He's now back on the big stage, and he's looking to light it up. Max McIntyre, the money show. This kid has been everywhere all fight week. How much has he been soaking it up? He's been absolutely enjoying the moment and loving it. There is an absolutely stacked undercard. Everyone should be here early because the action is going to start from the very first bell.
I agree.
Go ahead, I was just about to say, that was so good. I feel like Eddie will be getting him to do the press conferences in a second.
He
went through it so effortlessly. What's going on there?
But it's true. I think boxers per se, going back to what you were saying, Charlie, is that boxers per se need to have a characteristic, you know, a good character, because great characteristics in this boxing, you know, they start to shape the sport. Look at Muhammad Ali, go back to all the people that have done something in the sport. They've all had a particular character that people can get behind. So I can say it again now, we don't want to stand in the way for the guys getting into their weigh-in, but, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they look like and to getting them on stage very soon.
Absolutely. We have spoken. We've enjoyed it. We've built it up. We love it. Let's make way for the fighters. And obviously the main event, Opetaia versus Nyika. We'll be going shortly to Steve Payos, who's just been gunning it the whole fight week. So this is going to be a very special afternoon. Let's get ready to watch these fighters weigh in.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for that, Rob, Charlie and Ted. And it's a warm welcome to everybody that has joined us here inside the Gold Coast Exhibition Centre. The venue for tomorrow night's big fight. It is, of course, Tasman Fighters, Matchroom Boxing and Gold Star Promotions in consultation with Riyadh Season, proudly bringing you the IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight Championships of the world. And this is our official weigh-in today. We have 10 big fights on the card here, and we look forward to welcoming up all of our boxers onto the scales, and a fantastic introduction there from our broadcast team outlining to you the quality, the immense quality that will be on show here tomorrow night. So without any further ado, the boxers are waiting. They are ready to weigh in and then go and refuel before the big fight tomorrow night. We start off our bout in catch weight of 60 kilograms, 3 2-minute rounds. We're very proud and honoured to have a couple of jockeys making their professional debut here tonight, and that is in consultation and partnership with the Magic Millions, the very famous race meeting that is happening up here on the Gold Coast for the next 10 days. So let's welcome up our boxers on to the scales. We start with the man who's boxing out of the red corner. This man is Jag Chester. 57.45 for Jag Chester. Thank you very much, Jag. Jag, we'll get you to put your clothes back on and just come over here, please. And then we'll welcome up your opponent before the face-off. So now making his way on to the scales. Let's hear it, everybody. This is Jai Williams. 57.55 for Jai Williams. Congratulations to both of our boxers. They have made the catch weight of 60 kilograms. And gentlemen, we'll get you coming up and facing off in front of the great man himself, Eddie Hearn, who's made his way onto the stage. Could be a little bit of a size difference here between these two men and Eddie, but not the first time he's ever stood in front of featherweights. Coming together, guys, for the face-off, please. Looking at each other. Fists up, boys. And to the front. Let's have a round of applause, guys. That is our catch weight, 60 kilograms, 3 2-minute rounds. Jag Chester and Jai Williams. Congratulations, gents. All the very best. And also enjoy race week up here on the Gold Coast. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next bout, everybody. This is where our broadcast begins, the pre-card on DAZN. So make sure you're tuning in for this fantastic bout. It is in the middleweight division for 3-minute rounds. We start with a man who's boxing out of the red corner. Let's have a warm round of applause onto the stage for Albert Tuua. Middleweight division is where we're at, everybody. 72.57 kilograms is our weight limit. $70.75 for Albert Tuua. He makes the limit. Face off. And now let's welcome up his opponent up onto the scales. This man boxing out of the blue corner on the night. Let's hear it, everybody, for Cody Shalali. 70.95 kilograms for Shalali. Both men under the middleweight limit. 72.57. Gents, we'll get you to come in for the face-off here, please, right at the front. Thank you very much, gents. Facing off. To the front, gents. Let's hear it, everybody in the crowd, for our two-man middleweight division, Albert Tuua and Cody Shalali. Good luck, gentlemen. Middleweight division, the first bout of our broadcast on the night. That is tomorrow night, Wednesday, the 8th of January, 2025. This, of course, Opetaia and Nyika, the return of the champion. Now let's welcome up our boxers for the next bout of the evening, everybody. We have 8 3-minute rounds and we're in the featherweight division. Let's welcome up first the man who's boxing out of the red corner, known as the Fists of Fury, all the way from Shenzhen in China. This is Run Chi Zhu. $56.85 kilograms for Run Chi Zhu. About of four, then we move on to another huge contest. This one is for the vacant IBF Youth World Super Middleweight Championship. Absolutely outstanding fight on the line. 10 3-minute rounds. It's time to welcome up the first of our competitors for this belt. This man boxing out of the red corner. A very big round of applause, an Australian welcome for Abdul Salam Sama. Super middleweight limit is 76.2 kilograms. Rodney March says
75.9.
75.9 kilograms. Championship weight for Saman, 0.3 of a kilo. We'll get you just to wait for a moment. Thank you very much, sir. Now let's welcome up onto the stage his opponent. This man has set the boxing world alight so far. We know him now as Triple M. He's the money man, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome Max Money McIntyre.
She does everything. She loves to move. She loves to groove. She loves a lot of things.
Rodney Marsh says 76.05 kilograms, right on the button. 0.15 of a kilogram for Max Money McIntyre. IBF World Youth Super Middleweight Championship on the line. To the front, gentlemen, to the front. How good was that, everybody? Round of applause for our boxers. Abdul Salam Saman and Money Max McIntyre. Max, we'll get you to get a shirt on and then make your way for a quick question here. The crowd absolutely loving that. Bit of bravado here. Max, your time to shine now. You've been very, very confident. Nice to see a little bit of aggression there from you, mate. That was good. Was that something you were planning to do to try and intimidate him?
Showtime, baby. Let's go. Money showtime Wednesday night. It's time. You know, I've been waiting for this. All the build-up. Talk's done. I'm going to showcase my skills.
Are we going to see another big knockout from you early on, or are you going to try and box this a little bit safer to start with?
Oh, if I have to go 10 rounds, I'll go 10 rounds, but I'm not looking to go 10 rounds. Expect an early night, baby. Don't blink.
All right, don't blink, everybody. We know what the message is. This is the money man. It is Max McIntyre. That's brilliant for Max McIntyre, learning the art of the game early. Well done to that young man. All right, everybody, moving on now to our co-main event of the evening. I hope everybody gets ready to make lots of noise as we welcome up onto the stage our opponents, the heavyweight division, 10 3-minute rounds of action. This one is for 3 belts. It is 3 regional belts, the IBF Pan Pacific, WBC Australasia, and also the WBO Global Heavyweight Championships. First of all, on to the scales. The man hailing all the way from South Africa. He is, of course, God's warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Sean Portgaita. $113.9 kilograms for God's warrior from South Africa, Sean Portgaita. Sean, we'll get you just to come to the side. Thank you very much. And now Gold Coast and everybody watching, it's now time for Australia's favourite heavyweight to make his way onto the scales. He enters this bout as the reigning and defending IBF Pan Pacific, WBC Australasia and WBO Global Heavyweight Champion. Entering the bout undefeated and perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the man from the blue corner. He is JPH. He is Justice. 109.5 kilograms for Justice Hooney. To the front, gentlemen, let's have a round of applause, everybody. Sean Portgaita, Justice Hooney. Gentlemen, I'll get you both, please, both to put, we'll get the shirt on and we'll get you both in for a quick discussion. Thank you very much. First of all, Sean, thank you very much for joining us. You've talked about your faith in your Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ has brought you to this moment and the fact that this is your time to take what is rightfully yours. How confident are you that you can get the job done now against Justice Hooney?
He's prepared everything for me. I must now pitch up and do the work.
And do you have any fear going into this contest? Is your time right now?
It's my time now. There's no better time than now. I'm in good shape. I'm physically, mentally prepared for this.
Fantastic. We wish you all the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause. Sean Portgaita. Justice Hooney looking fantastic, right on the button of 110 kilograms. Tell us what you're going to do in this fight. Sean Portgaita says he's ready for you. He's prepared for this. And he says that God has told him that his time. What do you have to say in riposte to that?
Yeah, look, it's time to go, you know. You'll see tomorrow night what I've got to bring. And, yeah, make sure you're tuning in.
Can we expect a big knockout from you early on? Are you looking to send a message ahead of some big fights later on in the year, potentially?
You know, if it comes, it comes. But just looking to go out there and box, do my thing, and I'm sure I'll get the job done.
Fantastic. And any last messages for these wonderful fans here? Queensland is out for you once again. They're cheering your name. What do you want to say to them finally?
I just want to say thank you for all the support. And, yeah, make sure you're tuning in tomorrow night.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, he's ready to go. Our co-main event of the evening. He's JPH. He's Justice Hooney. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we get ready now to move into the main event of the evening. This is the big one that everybody has been waiting for. The big fight, the return of the champion as we move in here at the Gold Coast Convention Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening, 12 3-minute rounds of action for the IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight Championships of the World. While we wait, Eddie, I might ask you a quick one for the crowd here. The build-up has been sensational, and we just saw them face-to-face, ready to go, mate. You must be very excited.
Yeah, this is a massive night for Australian boxing. Jai Opetaia is the #1 star in Australian boxing right now. He's the IBF World Champion, the Ring Magazine Champion, the best cruiserweight in the world. This is a real fight. David Nyika's here to fight one of the best amateurs we've seen from this part of the world for a long time. He took the fight at 3 weeks' notice. He sees something, he believes. But tomorrow night, he's up against an animal in Jai Opetaia. This is going to be a brilliant fight. I think it's going to be a classic for Australia. Don't miss it live on DAZN. Two great fighters. Give them all the support they deserve.
Thank you very much for that, Eddie. Well said. Let's welcome our fighters very quickly. David Nyika, please. First of all, David, the nice guy, not so nice there, the final part of the weigh-in. The smile is back on your face now, but what a thrill. The adrenaline, the energy on the stage was palpable. How ready are you for this big occasion in your life?
Oh, the time for talking is done, man. I know Jai wants to fight. I want to fight. We're sick of these interviews. Let's get it on.
Mate, do you have a prediction for us? You said you didn't want to give much away. You've been true to your word, but it was nice to see some aggression in there in the final weigh-in. Final messages for the crowd, everybody watching, for what will be a momentous evening.
Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a show.
Fantastic. We wish you all the very best, ladies and gentlemen. David Nyika. Jai Opetaia, thank you so much for joining us. This could be the last interview of the whole fight, mate, so thank you very much for that. A bit of aggression between both of you there. I know you're ready to go. What are you expecting out of this man tomorrow night?
Good fight, man. You know, he's pumped. Let's do it.
Any comments from what you saw from him then? Did you see anything in his eyes that makes you any more confident heading into tomorrow night?
He's ready. I'm ready. Let's fight.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. That is Jai Opetaia, everybody. What a magnificent weigh-in that was. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here at the Gold Coast. Everyone inside the venue, please stick around for the final moments of the weigh-in. Steve Pale's here, and we'll be going back to our broadcast team, who have been absolutely fantastic this fight week. Can't wait to hear what they have to think about this. They're being joined, as I understand it, by Mick Francis and Eddie Hearn as well. So absolutely fantastic. I'll throw it over to them now. Rob Scheif, Charlie Parsons, and also Ted Kofi.
Boys, the intensity, the main event. We just saw it. They went face to face. They pushed their heads a little bit. We're joined by the governor, Eddie Hearn. This has got big fight feels. You must be excited. That main event is going to lift the roof off.
You know what as well, and there's a lot of mind games as well. The Nyika side during the head-to-head, asking how Jai Opetaia's 18-hour flight was to Saudi Arabia. Don't forget he was there just a couple of weeks ago for the big fight. The mind games are starting. This is a serious fight. A serious fight. I mean, forget about how big it is for Australian boxing. This is a massive fight on a world level. It may be one of the best fights, if not the best fight in the cruiserweight division. The only other fight I see in the division better than this is Opetaia against Zurdo Ramirez. This is a serious, serious fight. And if Jai Opetaia is overlooking Nyika, if he's not switched on, if he's not prepared, he's going to have his hands full tomorrow night. But so much is going to be decided by those early rounds when Nyika first gets touched by those small gloves of Jai Opetaia.
So, Eddie, it's funny you say that. When I was speaking to Jai told me that he's expecting him to come in there and box. Obviously, they've both got the amateur pedigree, but David's never gone past 5 rounds. Now, we know if anyone's going to put him in the deep end, it is Jai. What are you expecting to see from both men?
I think that Nyika's going to suit Nyika the longer the fight goes, but things can unravel real quick in there. I mean, you've seen so many guys without the experience to go in there, and once Jai starts pushing it on you and putting it on you, you have to stand and fight. If he does that, I think this fight will be over inside 3 rounds. I really do, because if Jai comes out there and starts getting aggressive with Nyika, he's not going to box long. He likes to stand and trade as well. I think if you're looking at Nyika's weaknesses, sometimes he does get hit a little bit too much. Maybe that's because he's fighting at a lower level where he's not as concerned and he's not as switched on. These are the kind of fights where you'll see the very best of someone like David Nyika. And sometimes you look at a fight where there's an underdog who's 4, 5, 6 to 1, and you can't really see a way that they can win. This kid's got pedigree. Like, Nyika's a serious fighter. It's not like he's not good enough to become a world champion. I'm sure Nyika will become a world champion. But will he become a world champion tomorrow night? Could be too early. If he's special, maybe he does it.
That tentative approach that David Nyika's had, you know, he's been in that shell all week. You know, I mean, it's like he's been meditating, and today he came out of it. You know, with his attitude today, it looks like he's going to go out with some aggression, because he said that he's there to win.
Yeah, I mean, Ed, what do you take from that? Obviously, all week we've been trying to get him to bite and prod at each other. It's almost like the first time that they've actually gone at it. But I suppose
I've been very impressed with Nyika. Like, even there in the head-to-head, there was no fear. Like, this is a guy, you know, there's a difference between convincing yourself you're confident you can do it and you're ready to actually being ready. And that part we won't find out till tomorrow night. But everything I've seen thousands of head-to-heads, and sometimes you look and you go, no. The Adam's apple starts going. I look down at the torso and I can see the pulse beating through the chest. I don't see that from Nyika. I see a man that truly believes in himself. But until you step up the levels, you actually never know. The thing that gives me the hope for a Nyika is the amateur pedigree. But he's coming up against the best cruiserweight in the world. I mean, a pound-for-pound great in Jai Opetaia. That's what I believe. And, you know, like, if you're ever going to find out how great you really are, tomorrow night is the night you find out how great you really are against someone like Jai Opetaia.
And you've nailed it on the head, the self-belief, but it's at another level. He's manifested this. He wanted to make it happen. He's dreamed about it. He's been saying that Jai's been living in his head rent-free. We saw the post-its up on the mirror. This kid has wanted this fight since they first sparred back in the amateur days. This kid has been thinking about this fight. He made this fight happen. So when Sin Cara pulled out, he rushed at the opportunity. But there must be a couple of other fights. Obviously, Terramara and Justice. You must be very excited for them.
Yeah, I am. I mean, the whole card from top to bottom. I mean, even off broadcast with a couple of jockeys that are kicking us off. They love a scrap. That could be the tear up of the night. Those two little fellas. I thought it was Parsons at one stage. But you go up the card. I think I'm looking forward to seeing Ben Marnie. It looks like he's going to be in a tough fight. Terramara's a serious talent. It's very difficult to find him the opposition. We know it's early stages of his career. We expect him to go through. Sean Potgeether, I think, will pose an interesting threat for Justice Honey. We kind of reversed the gear a little bit with Justice after the big fights that he had, particularly with Lorena. I think Mick and maybe myself getting a little bit carried away in the team. No rush, 25 years of age, top 15 in the world, get these good wins. Potgeether is a nice step up from the two run-outs he's had recently, and you're going to see him in some big fights in 2025. But yeah, brilliant undercard, brilliant night of boxing, and a great main event. I can't believe it's only January the 8th.
Absolutely. Now, we don't want to look past an opponent, but we do look through them. Now, you're talking about Justice, you're talking about Terramara. We know Johnny Fish is going to be here tomorrow night. What are some names that you'd like to see this time next year, 2 years from now?
I think the big fight you're going to end up seeing is the likes of Justice Honey against Moses Atalma. I think Moses is going to be a guy. He's already top, 10 with a WBO. So is Justice Honey. He's got the kind of style that will make that a tremendous fight. Two smaller guys with fast hands. Terramara's a different kind of beast. Bigger guy. I mean, he's a huge unit. He's got a little bit of work to do. I think Justice this year is going to be in some really career-defining fights. We may even look, hopefully there'll be an announcement in the next 24, 48 hours about George Kambosos' return as well to Sydney in March. You're going to see Terramara on that card as well. I want to box him 7 or 8 times this year. I think it's really important to keep those guys active. And Justice as well, this is his 3rd fight in, 5 months? Really important for the activity. But sooner or later, Justice is going to have to return to that world level, and when he does, I think this time he'll be ready.
Eddie, we've been talking about the talent pools down under. I suppose firstly for me, that I've been able to see it hands-on and get that sort of, I mean, you're talking about maybe doing 4 shows here this year. Mick Francis and all of the other guys, they're eager to have more boxing down under, and it seems like it could be a hotspot. Important to note, you can still get the last remaining tickets more on sale ahead of tomorrow night, but also, if not, make sure you buy that pay-per-view live on DAZN down under and available for subscribers in the rest of the world.
Yeah, I think when you walk in here, it's got a big event feel. I mean, this is our 2nd show in Australia. It's been a while since we've been back. We had plans to do 3 or 4 shows a year. I think now we kind of learned that you need that partner, you need those hands on the ground here as well. Mick's done a tremendous job. I mean, the setup here, the staging, this place is going to be completely sold out tomorrow night. And there's a real vibrancy about Australian boxing. We have, as you know, a global vision. And I really think, if you look at our talent roster in Australia, George Kambosos, Jai Opetaia, Justice Honey, Sky Nicholson, Liam Paro, Terramara. I mean, the list goes on. And we've got so much tremendous talent here. And there's other fighters as well that I'm looking to sign, younger fighters, great amateurs coming through. So if we can do January the 8th tomorrow night and March 22nd in Sydney, that's 2 within the first couple of months of the year. So if we don't do 4, I'll be disappointed. And I think there's a real potential here in this market. And I urge all Australian fight fans to tune in tomorrow night and buy this pay-per-view, support the show. You're not just watching a great Australian fight, you're watching one of the best fighters in the world in Jai Opetaia, who happens to be from Australia. And I think boxing here in 2025, you could just see it go to another level.
Well, it's funny you say that. We walk around in fight week, we speak to Uber drivers, whatever. Everyone's actually talking about the fight come Wednesday night. Of course we get in Ubers, Eddie. We're not quite there yet. I might be adding that one onto the DAZN bill come the end of the week. But everyone's talking about Jai. Now, we look at sort of traditionally the sports, and Rob, yourself, Ted, you'll know a little bit more so. Boxing's not up there, but it's getting up there very quickly. The buzz and the passion is there.
Yeah, I think that we've got to expose these fighters to a bigger audience. I think Jai, don't forget, hasn't boxed in Australia for 2.5 years. Now, sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes that's a bad thing for their performance. You don't know till he gets in the ring. But really, this guy has been seen fighting around the world, in London, on the big cards in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So he has established himself as a bigger name. I think Jai Opetaia should be a national superstar for what he did against Maris Bradis. He broke his jaw in 2 places in this venue in the 3rd round or whatever it was. He boxed for 9 rounds with a broken jaw in 2 places and beat the best cruiserweight on the planet. But because boxing maybe doesn't quite have that, you know, level of importance yet in this country, he isn't the star that he was. But we've got to do more shows. Opetaia, those kind of guys, they're going to be on the pay-per-view level, but we've got to invest as well to make regular shows to a wider audience to build the stars coming through. There's a lot of world-level fighters out there at the moment, but there's a whole underswell of talent coming through, and they're game as you like. They'll fight anybody. Like, they're dying for the opportunity. That's what I love more about it, because he's, yeah, you know, you got him 8-0, oh, he's 6-0. Yeah, they'll fight. Go on, stick them in. And they're not, it's not that you haven't been infected yet with the boxing politics and ego of like people, I want this and I want that, and managers and lawyers and agents. People are grateful and people are looking for opportunities to change their life.
We were talking at the workout, actually, when we were running through the card together.
He does this all the time. You won't get a word in, honestly.
We were talking, I know. We were talking at the workout about looking through the card, and literally from like the 1st or the 2nd fight of the night, you've actually got unbeaten records, or guys with only 1 loss that are literally getting thrown straight into the deep end. Quite refreshing.
Yeah, because what happens over here is he's such a long way away. It's so difficult to fly in opposition. And when you're flying in opposition, you're flying in a fighter +3. Right, and each airline fare is $3,000. You're talking about 12, 15 grand just to fly an opponent over in a 6-rounder. So the Australians fight each other. Do you know what I mean? And you've got no choice. That's who you're fighting. It's almost like a little bit of a UFC strategy of, do you want to be on the card? It's him. Is that okay? Yes or no? Yeah, I'll fight him. Boom, done. And, you know, you're seeing that mentality go through the gears of fighters, you know, like Paro, like Sky, like Justice Honey. They'll fight anybody. And they want to fight the best because, you know, they come from this environment where that's what we do. We fight who's available and we're ready to go.
But this fight has got the real global big fight appeal, hasn't it? I mean, this what's happening here today with, you know, the fight week and everything that took place. You could be having this in Vegas, Saudi Arabia, England, anywhere. So I mean, so Jai has done well to go overseas, but he's actually brought that now big feel back to Australia. And I think this crowd and this environment is really going to benefit from that.
That's what we want. We want people to tune in around the world and say, wow, look at what's happening in Australia. You know what I mean? You've seen, like, Tim Zoo's done a great job, George Kambosos has done a great job. Now it's Jai's turn to return home in front of a big crowd and have the eyes of the world watching him and say, wow, he's a big draw. And there's loads of other people that can be a draw here as well in Australia. And, you know, this is our 2nd show. It's going to be in Brisbane. We're looking forward to going to Sydney, you know, going to Melbourne, going to Perth, and looking at all those different markets and just learning. But I like what I see here. I like the vibrancy. I think people are welcoming. They want to see boxing grow in this part of the world, in this territory, and, you know, and like I said, the talent roster. If you didn't have any good fighters, you're so limited to how far you go. I probably wouldn't be in myself. Yeah. But when I look at our roster, like, we've got 7 or 8 world-class Australian fighters, and there's loads more as well that aren't just with Matchroom. So there's a very deep talent pool in relation to the size of the market. And I think that's going to keep growing. And a good amateur system as well coming through. You know, some great Olympians coming out of the Australian team and beyond that as well.
Absolutely.
Ted, when we were talking earlier in the week, no. Eddie mugging me off live, absolutely no surprises there. We were saying what it would mean to be an active fighter in this scale of the world. You were saying it, I mean, to fight right now is the dream. Even fighters like Liam Smith I speak to towards the sort of back end of their career, they say what they would give to be in their prime now. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, one of his favourite fighters is Jai Opetaia. You've got the ring and the IBF on the line, but David actually wants an opportunity to impress His Excellency as well, Ted.
I mean, it's incredible. And what this is going to do, see, what happens is people see, if they see boxing on TV, DAZN are distributing and you can see boxing all the time. That means that the people coming out of school and college, they're going to now think, I can be a boxer. I can make a living out of that. I can be on TV rather than rugby or football, soccer, what we call it. And, you know, so people are now looking at boxing and thinking it's not just a pay-per-view sport that they haven't seen, that's only in America. Now it's all over the world, you know, and with Eddie's association with Mick and everybody else, you can now fight anywhere. You've got these cars that just keep moving all around the world and it's the same feel. So it's really good that the young guys are coming through and they can now say, I'm going to choose boxing as a career.
We can't thank you enough, Eddie. Thank you for coming down. Queensland is the mecca of Australian boxing. So when you get to Sydney and Melbourne, don't get too disappointed. You'll love the weather when you get back here. But DAZN, the collaboration, the team, Tasman Fighters, Gold Star Promotions, Matchroom, Turkey Al Sheikh, this only means great things for boxing. That is the official weigh-in. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't wait to see you until fight night tomorrow night. Myself, Rob Shife, Charlie Parsons, Ted Kofi, the Governor, Eddie Hearn. We are excited and ready to go. We will see you live on DAZN.